If you feel like you're spending hours writing a blog post only for it to get a handful of views, or you wonder if anyone is even seeing it, you're definitely not alone. It can take a while for blogging to kick off. And in those early stages, it can be really hard to keep up the momentum when you're not getting that instant satisfaction or dopamine hit that you're used to getting from Instagram. So today, I want to talk about some of the blogging mistakes I see people make, specifically when they're blogging for their business. And as long as you avoid these, you should be golden. But definitely make sure you're subscribed to the channel or following me for more blogging tips. This is literally what I do for a living. So in case we haven't been connected yet, I'm Kara. I write blogs and do Pinterest management for other online business owners, service-based business owners, coaches, like all of the things. So let's dive in. So first, mistake number one would be treating your blog like a journal. I would say, especially see this with coaches or more, I want to say lifestyle brands, where we think because we're interested in something that we should write a blog about it. And while that's okay if you have a ton of business related content, the reality is if you are blogging kind of sporadically, it can really dilute your website and it can make it really hard for Google or ChatGPT or other search engines to find what you should actually be known for. And it makes you look like less of an authority. So I think a lot of times when we decide to start blogging for our business, what do? We head to Google, we head to YouTube. Maybe that's why you're here. And we're like, hey, what do I do? Like, how do I write a good blog post? And, you might hear vague advice like, write content buckets, tie in personal elements, like do a personal category, whatever. And while that advice is like well-meaning, if you're trying to be a blogger and build a personal brand, I do think it is a bit misguided if you're trying to blog for your business. I would keep topics more focused, not to say that you can't have your personality and show some personal elements, but people are not like reading and subscribing to blogs anymore. So we do want to keep it a lot tighter. Mistake number two, no call to action, or it's not immediately obvious how they can work with you. There's so many informational blog posts out there, like so many. So unless you make it super clear that you are actually a business, you're a coach, you're a service provider, you have ways that you can help them, they're not going to know. So I do this pretty much the same way every single blog post. I'll introduce the topic with the main topic keyword at the beginning. And then my next paragraph is always to introduce myself, my business, how I can help. So if it was me, I'd be like, by the way, in case you're wondering who you're taking advice from, I'm Kara. I do blogging and Pinterest for other online service business owners. Whatever your thing is, like make it clear at the top. Then, of course, share content in the body of the episode. Then, of course, share the bulk of the content in the main part of the blog post, and then finish with a call to action. And I always also like to think of like the blog could be their first introduction to you. A lot of times we think of our blog as like something we're going to share to our email list or social media, and those people already know who we are. However, when you're using blogging to rank on Google, this could definitely be their first point of contact with you. So we want to welcome them, right? We want to introduce them the same way you would with like an email nurture sequence or something, and also recognize that people are in all different stages of their buyer journey. So someone, let's use a website designer as an example. Someone could literally just be starting their business and not even really know they need a website yet. They might need more blog posts to get on your email list, to follow you on Instagram, those kind of things. Or they could be like ready to make a website designing decision, and maybe they just need a services page and a contact now button. I think unlike traditional like sales page advice, we're not looking for one call to action. We want to meet people where they are and give them a few different options. Mistake number three would be writing to a more advanced audience. Now, I'm not saying you want to like dumb down your content. That's certainly not what I'm saying. But what I would say is that we want to keep most writing below a grade 5 level, not because people cannot read higher than that, but most people are skimming, first of all. Second, they're like reading from their mobile device. They maybe came from Pinterest or an Instagram, like they're distracted. And so if we add in like the added tension or friction of like corporate jargony words, that is going to not translate. Like you will increase your bounce rate. You won't convert. Like we want like to make it as easy as possible for them to not only like read the blog post, consume it, get warmed up to you, but then also take the next step, whatever that step is. Mistake number 4 is neglecting some of these SEO basics. So just to back up, SEO is just search engine optimization. And whether you're looking to optimize for like Google, I feel like that's like when we think of SEO, we think of Google, but it could also be for AI tools or, Bing, wherever Pinterest, like wherever people are searching, we want to make sure our content is optimized and it's easier than you think. So a few like really like low, easy to fix things is like 1, have a keyword. Ideally, you want to do keyword research, but just even having a keyword and like thinking like, what are people going to search before I want them to land on this is huge. I always like to look at the heading structure too. So every blog post should have one H1 heading. If you're not sure what that is, like quick Google search. I don't want to go into like too like basics here, but it feels like it's very technical. It's very not. So one H1 heading, which should be your blog title. H2s should be your secondary kind of like main titles. I think you want to stick to like, depends on the blog, but like 2 to 5 of those, let's say. And then the rest of them could be H3 or H4 headings. And again, you want to rank these in order of importance. You do not want everything to have the same level heading because then basically you're saying that the heading that you put in the middle of your blog post is the same as the blog title, for example. Like it doesn't make sense. And you're not giving Google any context as to what the blog post is actually about. The other SEO kind of basic thing that I see is ignoring images. So it's really easy to optimize images for search engines. Basically, you just resize the image so it's not huge, it's not slowing down your website, and Google or whatever search like Chrome, Safari, whatever people are using is not resizing it for them. I like to use bulkresizePhotos.com and I like to make the width of the image 800 pixels for most websites. It does depend if it's like your header image that spans the width of your website. Maybe you want to make that bigger. I would just start with 800, upload it. If it looks blurry, make it bigger. But that is like a general, like I think, good starting place. That's the first thing you want to do is resize it. You also want to rename it, and you want to rename it before you upload it. A lot of times, like if you're on WordPress or Squarespace or wherever, it will look like you can change the name of the image once you've uploaded it, but it doesn't always read like that to search engines. So to be safe, I would rename it before you re-upload it and put dashes between the keywords. So whatever your blog post keyword is or your title. So like I could do blog dash writer dash for dash businesses, or I could do something that is like very specific, like blogging dash mistakes dash business owners, like whatever it is. Dashes between the words just helps Google actually digest what that image is supposed to say. You will not believe how many blog posts I audit and I see the images are all like image 097452, whatever it is. So resize, rename, and then add alt text. So alt text is ultimately for accessibility. So I don't want you to fill it with a bunch of keyword garbage, but describe the image and sprinkle in the keyword some of the time. So not every single image, but just some of the time. Mistake number 5, which is the inconsistent posting. So I want to back up and say blogging is not like the Instagram algorithm where you have to be super consistent. Otherwise, the algorithm kind of like punishes you for it. It's not like that. However, it does take, like when people come to work with me, I always warn them that it takes like 6 to 12 months to kind of like pop off and like really start seeing consistent traffic. And that is like of consistency. So if you are being inconsistent, I think you have to be really honest with yourself that it is going to take that much longer. And really, I like to look at it almost at the end of the year. Like at the end of the year, how many blog posts did you really write? Did you write 52 or did you write more like 12? Because it is, as a blog writer, I know it is so easy for this to fall to the bottom of your list. That's literally why people hire me. So trust me, I see this all the time where it is just hard to make it a priority. And it really, like, it's not the inconsistency of the problem, but it is kind of a volume game, to be honest. Mistake number 6, this is a quick one, but just ignoring Pinterest. So if you treat your blog as standalone instead of like using Pinterest to drive extra traffic, you are missing out on more traffic. One, you could get traffic from Pinterest for pretty low lift, but then also Pinterest provides backlinks to your site and makes your site appear more credible to search engines. So it's kind of just like a win-win relationship there, even if you feel like your people aren't on Pinterest. That could be a whole other video because Pinterest has 585 million monthly users. So I guarantee you they're on there. I don't know who your audience is, obviously, if you're watching this, but most of the time, like you can DM me and we can have a conversation about it because so many people are using Pinterest. And sometimes you just have a to be a bit creative in getting in front of them. Mistake number 7 is, and this is the last one, but it's a big one, is not repurposing the content. So I know I just told you it takes 6 to 12 months to pop off. That is a lifetime as a small business owner. So in order to get the most kind of bang for your buck when you're starting out with a blog, use that blog content for other things while you wait for it to rank in other places. So I like to literally copy and paste a blog post, put it in ChatGPT. Can you pull out the best one-liners? And I will post that on Threads. I'll turn it into B-roll on an Instagram reel. I'll create a carousel with the main points. Use AI to help you here. It's your friend. I've already talked about putting it on Pinterest, send it to your email. If there is a hill I will die on as a marketer, it's that starting with a long form piece of content that is well thought out and put together is easiest way and best way to market your business, especially when you don't have a whole marketing team. Most of my clients don't have a whole marketing team. They might have me, they might have a social media manager, depending where they are in their business journey. It's they are not working with unlimited resources. So starting with this pillar piece is a really great way to make sure your content goes farther. So anyway, that was a lot. Let me quickly recap. So 1 is treating your blog like a journal where you just write whatever you want to write about. Mistake number 2, no clear call to action or ways they can work with you. Number 3, making the writing too hard to read. Number 4, neglecting some of these SEO basics. 5, being inconsistent and just not posting enough. 6, ignoring Pinterest. And 7, not repurposing content. If you want to learn from me on how to write blog posts that sell, you can download that in the description box below. Obviously, if you want to just outsource this, have a conversation, all those links will be below, but I will talk to you in the next video.